Good morning. Good morning, Iskail. Iskail, good morning to you, but good evening to me here in Brisbane, Australia. You hear me, Iskail? Can you hear me? Iskail, I read your message and you've been chatting with me. Your buyer is just using you, right? Gold is not C.I.F, Iskail. So he doesn't answer my call. Iskail, can you hear me? Where are you right now? Are you from Dubai or what? Oh, it's been okay. May I may I reiterated my response? Go on, okay, just a moment. To respond to every inquiry that I have on my WhatsApp, please read it. The full corporate offer is already in front of you guys. But to me, you don't use your brain. Yeah, you don't. Mhm. Most of you asking C.I.F cost insurance and freight, you don't have the money. You can only afford to pay shipping cost and insurance. You don't need to pay the cost insurance. You have to pay the product first. Then you have to pay the shipping cost and the insurance. You need to insure it. And most of you asking C.I.F to me, you're a beggar. A buyer asking C.I.F, you are going to leverage it. You don't have cash flow enough. You can only afford to pay shipping cost. We don't do business like that. To me, you're a beggar. Yeah. Anybody asking LC is BLC. C.I.F, you are all beggars. Why? Don't be insulted because it's true. You don't have the cash available. You are going to borrow money in the bank using gold as your uh, presentation. You're going to use the contract. Now, I had the buyer and the seller for 5 months. The standard letter of credit was failed. Why? The buyer cannot submit sufficient enough to convince his bank. Can you imagine for 5 months this buyer been dealing with the seller? This buyer, I have been rejected him. I rejected him 5 months ago. And then he was dealing with the agent, that the agent come to me if I know Sagis. Sagis is a bloody Indian, excuse my language. I rejected him. They haven't found any gold. They are going to resell it to their own customer and asking C.I.F, I'm sorry guys, we don't do business like that. You have to have a capital first. You have to pay the goods before you resell it. Now I had the inquiry here and he found me on YouTube. This buyer has been scammed in Nairobi. I'm going to read the message this morning because I went out this morning. I have a very fruitful meeting. My fellow Australian, he live in Gold Coast, and I have a meeting with him because he was also being scammed. Can you imagine that? He traveled from Africa to Africa, but he said to me, when he saw me on YouTube, he was impressed. So I invited him for lunch at Jimmy's on the Mall today. And I told him, be my guest. And we've been discussing business, and he was reluctant to deal with the African. And I told him, I can understand that because you have been scammed. You were being deceived. He was being offered 36 many years, a few years back. And he saw me as well on YouTube. And he challenged me. Now, if you watch my video, November 17, that was the guy that he come to see me from Gold Coast to meet me in Brisbane halfway. Yeah, I have a good lunch with him, and I told him be my guest, and it took us 2 hours conversation. Mhm. And I told him, would you mind if I have a live video conference with you so that I could show it to the world and to my head office? And he said, by all means. Mhm. He's a buyer. Now he believed that there are so many sellers. It's real. And I told him that real seller wouldn't sell cheap price at all. The real seller wouldn't deal C.I.F at all. This is cash business. Gold is cash. He agreed on me. Gold is cash. Yeah. He was being deceived by a seller in Africa. Yeah. He went to Zimbabwe. He went to Nairobi. He traveled all over Africa. He was being scammed many times. He went to Kampala. Now he found Wilhelmina. So he felt comfortable with my seller because I'm from Australia. And I show him the SKR. And I told him this is SKR because we are both Australian. And I showed the SKR to my laptop because I brought my laptop. And I told him my portable office is my laptop. I showed him the 2.5 tons of gold. I showed him the SKR. And I told this buyer that I would not release the SKR to anybody at all. But because we are both Australians, we're on the table. And I told him, I will show you the SKR. It was deposited at the security company, but I would not mention the name of the security company live. But he saw it. And you know what he said? I believe you. Now I found the right seller. I said, well, I will I will help you to recover your losses. This is what I have told this buyer that I have a meeting today. Mhm. I will recover your losses. I will help you to recover your losses, but with condition. You have to show me your business registration. You have to show me the proof of on your bank statement that you have $1 million. Yeah? And you know what he said? By all means, you will see my bank statement. Okay. Mhm. This is how you do, Mr. Buyer. You've been using broker floating around, right? Now, Mr. Seller, this is also for you. You, African seller, don't deceive foreigners. Believe me, you will be tagged as a scammer. Yes? You believe me, because this buyer saw Wilhelmina on YouTube and Facebook, they will come to me. You as the seller, don't deceive yourself. You're gonna say, oh, here's my product, gold and diamond, but you have to explain it. You have to explain why you want to sell your products, why the buyer has to pay the gold, why the buyer needs the Kimberly certificate. To me, I'm not an agency. I was hired by the seller. I have the memorandum of understanding. I only handle Bamako, Mali, Conakry, and Sierra Leone, but there is always question mark. I would only travel with you as a buyer in order for you to assist you on the ground. But if you are very in a hurry, I will monitor your movement. But when there is an issue, Wilhelmina is a little bit far from you. Now, but because we are on COVID-19, I will give you an extra service because when I travel with you, I do charge my extra service. Take it or leave it, you can have the products. By all means, guaranteed you will get it. Now, but because we are on COVID, in Australia, we don't have international flight at the moment. We were being restricted to travel. So I have to wait for 2021. Now I have buyers, 4 buyers, and 1 buyer for Sierra Leone. My other buyer have a COVID-19. He sent me the certificate of his COVID-19, and he sent me his business registration and his ticket. And I advise this buyer that please don't travel to Sierra Leone until you retest yourself, because maybe he has a flu. That is why he was being considered as COVID-19. And I told him he was supposed to leave today. Today, November 17, via Nairobi. I told him, you better move your ticket, maybe December or January. And I want you to test again so that you will be cleared, because I don't want you to be sick in Sierra Leone. This is what I have said to this buyer. He's buying diamond. Yeah. So he listened to my advice, because I cannot travel at the moment. There is no international flight, and we are restricted in Queensland. We are. So those buyers that I have, I will monitor you guys, but I will help you. I can guarantee you, I can assure you, you will get the gold in order for you to get the supply. Your business would not function if there is no supply. You must remember. Now, going back to this inquiry that I have, this guy is from Dubai as well, and he said, "Dear Wilhelmina, I found you on YouTube. This is this morning when I have a business meeting in the city. You seems very serious and very well experienced in gold business. I am into gold already for 3 months. Since I got two big buyers, one of them is affiliate LBME, so I don't know how to supply for them. We went to Kenya, we got scammed, and we decided do not pay anymore the 7% exportation taxes." I will answer that later on. "I'm wondering how to make this deal happen in most safety way possible. Looking forward to hear from you, Marcelo." Now, I respond to Marcelo that you already saw me on YouTube. You did read. I want you to go back and digest it properly, because the full corporate offer is always on every video. That's the reason why he was being scammed. He only paid taxes. Now, taxes in every country have a different. There is 17% in Cameroon. Namibia is 17%. In Sierra Leone, sometimes 7.5 or 8%. It depends on the new administration. In Bamako, Mali, the tax is 7.5. In Conakry, 7 to 8%. It depends. So that is the reason why I explain it thoroughly. So this guy, he was being scammed. Of course, you were being scammed because the gold didn't arrive. You only pay taxes. You have to pay the gold so that the owner of the gold can mobilize, so that he can declare that to his government that he's going to export to you. Exactly what I had explained to this buyer this morning, that I have a meeting with him. He's from Gold Coast. So you watch the video November 17 on YouTube, you will know who is the buyer. His name is Hassan. He mentioned his name, that he's Hassan. He was very pleased to meet me. He lost money, and I promised him I will help you to recover your losses. And he said, I would be happy if I'll get the profit 6,000 per kilo. I said, I will help you that. I'll give you maybe 7,000 profit per kilo, provided you come with me, convince Wilhelmina, and I'm going to ask my head office. And he showed me the proof of fund. And he couldn't believe that I traveled by myself with no security guard. I told him, no, I don't need security. I work for the seller. I'm the one who do the marketing for the seller. So once you're gonna be invited, you are a valued customer. This is what I have told this buyer that I have met this morning. Now, going back to this inquiry that I have. This Marcelo, I've given him November 17 the video that I have meeting with Hassan in Brisbane, and I told him, you watch the video conversation that I have, you digest it, then you come back when you're ready. Now he come back to me, and he said that his buyer want us to bring the gold to Dubai, and he wanted my seller to pay all the taxes. No, it wouldn't work at all. Why we gonna come to Dubai for? Why? You as the buyer, you have to come and see it, inspect it, then we will ask it to the refinery where I'm going to take it. Either I'm going to take you to Conakry, Guinea, or either I'm going to take you to Sierra Leone, or either I'm going to take you to Bamako, Mali. I have the power to know which seller I'm going to take you, and I have the power to reject you as well. And I have the power to ask the seller to give you a very good layaway. Now, our selling price is 8%, tax inclusive. Take it or leave it. Now, if you don't understand what is LBMA, I will go online. I will explain it here because I'm not going to stay longer. Just a moment. I'm going to go on online. Most of you don't understand what is the meaning of LBMA. I will search it for you because you are not paying attention. What is LBMA? So you as a buyer's agent or buyer, you should learn how to do the research. Now, the LBME stands for, okay? It is an association between refinery to refinery. Okay? Just bear with me. I'm going to, okay. LBMA. All right. What is the meaning of LBME? Which is stand for the London Volume Market Association. Plays a huge role on bullion market. You are not buying bullion here. You are buying unrefined. Gold bullion means it's already refined, right? And maybe different between you receiving genuine gold from the trustworthy supplier and being deprived of your own money and left with nothing. You will often see the word LBMA, meaning to say certified gold delivery in connection with gold and silver bullion. And this claim can only made by companies and bullion that meet rigorous standard. But you are not reading properly. So gold bullion, LBME, is an association. So you are not buying gold bullion. They buy gold and refine, then they refine it to their refinery, then they sell it to their own customer. The gold bullion stays in the vault. So the gold bullion stays in the bank. They are only selling a serial number. We are selling Dore bar, physical gold. You touch it, you ask it, then you bring it to your destination. Your customer is a jewelry manufacturer. Your customer is a company. Your customer could be an institution. Your customer could be a refinery. Your customer could be making figurines. Your customer could be a big company to refine to make into spare parts on my mobile phone. So there are so many categories. And you, the seller, have no idea as well. The seller say, okay, here's my gold. Yes, gold is yellow. Yes. The seller mine the gold and he wash it. I was on the mine. They wash it. The mud, they wash it on the washing machine. They get the dust gold and then they smelt into bar. In one bar is 1,000 kilograms, right? So when they smelt into bar, that is the time they're gonna export it. So Wilhelmina is the marketing consultant of the seller. Does anybody explain to you like this? None whatsoever. Even the seller. This is what my discussion with the buyer today. And now he understood. And he said to me, you know, gold will shrink. I said, exactly. But I asked the buyer, threw back the question. Tell me, what are you intend to use? He's buying to make into jewelry. Well, you need 22 carats. You know how he asked me this morning, 22 carats, how much you are selling? 55, take it or leave it tax inclusive. You don't need to pay taxes, but you have to pay the gold. And I told him, I will give you 40%, but you have to guarantee that you will not default the payment. And I'm going to be with you. Huh? So you have to pay 40% or 50% in order for the seller to mobilize, because seller has to pay his worker. The seller has to pay a petrol. That is cost. Yeah? And the seller has to pay the overhead. And you, as a foreigner, you're crook. I'm sorry if I say this, you're crook. Whoever watching me, the video, this live video, yes, you're asking cheap price. You're asking 35, you're asking 38, and then when you resell it, you get the profit of 18,000 to 20,000. To me, you're a crook. Yeah? I witness how this miner mine the gold. Every week they lose their workers because the workers didn't use protective gear, because they're using mercury to get the dust gold. And you, as a foreigner sitting down in your ass, excuse me if I'm very brutal, because it's true, and you wanted high interest, you wanted profit. Yeah, you will get the profit. Buy first before you get the profit. You need to buy, then you sell it to your own customer, you get the profit. But if you're asking me to bring the gold to Dubai or Hong Kong without putting single cents, to me, you're a beggar. You are. Yeah. Do you think me and Hassan having lunch, if we don't have the money, I did pay, I told Hassan, be my guest. Mhm. And if I don't have the money, do you think I can eat lunch? Do you think I can offer my guest to buy a coffee? Something like that. And you, as a foreigner, oh, I want to pay taxes. To me, you're going to be rejected if you come to Alamina. I want you to read the full corporate offer. There is a link. There's click on Conakry, click on Bamako, Mali, click on Sierra Leone, digest it properly, then you come back when you are ready. Don't come to Wilhelmina if you didn't read the full corporate offer, because what's the point? I already given you everything. And you come to Wilhelmina asking question and answer is already online. Yeah? Question and answer is already online. Now, I'm not going to stay longer. I just come live because I just want to answer the question. Right. The question that the buyer from Dubai, he was being scammed. Well, that's not my fault. You are creating your own misery. You went to Kenya. You want to pay taxes. This is what the buyer that was telling me today. He went to Central Africa, and he thought that he could get the gold. He was really scammed by the group of people. And he said to me, you know, Africans are poor people. I was just listening. And when the seller see him, group of people come to the restaurant, come to the hotel for food. I I smile. Mhm. And I was listening. And Hassan is a very nice guy. And Hassan is Australian. I think he was born in Sri Lanka. And his son is a policeman. And I have a very good conversation. I'm using this meeting today, and we are on the same page. He's a real buyer. Yeah. But he was been burned out because a seller in Africa scam him. Now, Mr. Seller, this is for you as well. When you meet a foreigner, show hospitality. Don't let the foreigner pay your dinner. Yeah? Don't. You have the gold, show to the foreigner that you are rich. And when you have a meeting with the foreigner, don't let foreigner pay for the food of your group. When you eat, tell the foreigner, be my guest. You have to pay the dinner. Yeah. A minute the foreigner pay for the dinner, then the foreigner start to wonder. This is for the seller. Whoever you are, Mr. Seller, I am educating you at the same time. Because I did not encounter this way. Now, there is always an exceptional to the rules. That is the reason why I need to be with you, Mr. Baya. I need, and I do charge my extra service. Yeah, I do charge. I mentioned it to Hassan this morning, and Hassan said, "How much you charge?" And I told him $10,000. Yeah, to cover my airfare, travel insurance, hotel accommodation, and food, and spending money. Yeah, I told him face to face, brutal, frank. You know what he said to me? I admire you. You're very straightforward, Mrs. Ford. And I told him, what's the point? If you cannot afford to pay my extra service, that's fine. You travel yourself. But if there is an issue, don't come back to Alamina. Yeah, I told him that. And he said, no, I want you to be with me. Okay. And he can afford to pay. I took the buyer last year and this year. He paid my trip. But I always say, do not screw me. Because I relate this morning that I was screwed in Ghana. Yeah. I was screwed by Eric Blasco from Mexico. So buyers and seller, when it comes to money, they become greedy. Their eyes is bigger than a dollar. Yeah. Either the buyer become greedy because of the profit. Either the seller become greedy because of money. Wrong. Or very wrong. Now, Mr. Seller and buyer, whoever you are, you're watching my video. When you have a guest, be hospitable. Show the foreigner who you are. Show the foreigner, this is my office, and this is my country. And offer the foreigner a drinks. Offer a foreigner to dine. But most of you as African, you don't want to spend money. You eat, eat, eat. Bloody hell. Yeah, yeah. So you need to learn, Mr. Seller. A minute you let the buyer pay the food, you are a beggar. You're a hungry person. Don't show to any foreigner that you're hungry. Don't show to the foreigner that you are bigger. Don't. I am addressing this to all seller, but my seller is different. Yeah, my seller is different. And I told Hassan this morning that I travel with no security. And I told him that I took the buyer in Conakry and my transaction was successful. I told him that the Royal Column Hotel, the manager is Korean, but he used to live in Melbourne. Yeah, and most of the staff, the higher position, are Chinese. The owner of Royal Column Hotel is owned by Chinese. Yeah, on my last year, I stayed at I forgot the hotel. I stayed in this hotel last year. This hotel owned by Chinese young couple. The wife doesn't speak English, but the husband speak English. Very nice husband, very accommodating. This is 2019. Yeah, this is 2019. So, if you want to stay on this, very cheap, yeah, 100, I think 120 per night. But I moved to Royal Column because Royal Column, the central bank is across the road. So it's convenience for me and the buyer. And the seller's office is not too far. I think 4 blocks away. 4 blocks away. So I'm sharing you the conversation that I have today. And also the buyer was saying to me that when when he meet the seller, group of African, and they eat, I was just laughing. And I told him, come with me, my seller would not do that. Yeah. But you have to, you have to, you feed as well some of your companion. And I told him, you come with me, you will not be worried and be my guest. And he was surprised with my hospitality this morning. And I said, don't worry, be my guest. But he didn't order because he doesn't eat lunch, only dinner. He just have a cup of coffee. But he was impressed, and you know what he said to me? We are the same page, Mrs. Ford. I will not travel without you. And I told him we cannot travel at the moment because we have a lockdown. So those buyer wanted to travel, go for it. Mhm. So if you travel from Dubai to Conakry, there are two trips. Emirates, they fly 2 times a week, Thursday and Saturday. If you want to go to Bamako, Mali, then you have to, if you're a foreigner from other part of the world, either via France, then France to Bamako, Mali, it's only 3 hours. But if you're coming from Dubai, so you have to stop over uh, Kenya, then Kenya to Bamako, Mali. So does anybody explain to you like this? Now this morning, I want to evaluate and share with you guys my conversation with the potential buyer. Watch that video on November 17. It's on YouTube already. And our conversation is very transparent. Our conversation is very clear and simple. I asked the buyer the evaluation, how you evaluate Wilhelmina during the meeting. And the time now is 9 o'clock in the evening. And I have a meeting with him around 11 o'clock. And I went to church first because I'm a Catholic. So every time I go to the city, I always attend the Mass. So going back to our conversation, he was really very pleased. And you know what he said? Now I found the right seller. Yeah? He said, now I found the right seller and I feel comfortable with you, Mrs. Ford. We are on the same page. Yeah? And I told him, I will send you the link. Which one you want to travel with me? Bamako, Mali, Conakry, and Sierra Leone. I showed him the 2.5 tons of gold deposited at the security company because I always bring my portable office, this laptop. He was surprised. Wow, 2.5 tons. I said, yes, this is the gold 15 boxes. And this is the receipt of SKR deposited 6 on the 3rd, 2020. And I told him I would not release it to you. I just only showed it to you because we are in the same country where we have a meeting in Brisbane. I just opened my laptop. Yeah. And he said, wow, impressive. I said, well, you will see. You will see. Conakry is more. I told him, Conakry, we have tons of gold. And I told this buyer that I have met this morning, wait and see. You watch that video that the gemologist explained about how huge deposit of gold in Conakry and huge deposit of gold in Bamako, Mali. I told him that Bamako, Mali has 4,500 local miners. And the big umbrella is the one who controls the supply. The big umbrella is the one who appointed me to market to the world. Yeah? So he was really impressed. Now, Mr. Buyer, the reason why you were being scammed, because you wanted to have a huge profit. Fair is fair. You will get the profit. But if you're dealing with chain of broker, of course you have to pay your broker. And the buyer today said, Wilhelmina, do you charge me commission? I said, no, I don't. I only charge you my extra service. Yeah. Because my seller is paying me. I only travel with you in order to assist you. But if you don't want to pay my extra service, that is fine. You don't need to be, you are not going to force. But if there is an issue, then that is another issue. Because I'm too far. But if I am there, I can easily solve any issue. Because Africans are fickle-minded. You must remember. So he knows. So that is why he was really very pleased. And he told me, wow, I found the right one. And he asked me, how could I recover my losses? And I told his son this morning, You will recover your losses, guaranteed. But you have to convince Wilhelmina. Show me your business registration, importation license, proof of fund, your bank statement. Then we can do business. And you know what he said? By all means. Well, there's a saying, when I mentioned to him the golden rules, he who has the gold makes the rules. The government is making the rules, not the buyer. He was laughing at me. You know what he said? Yes, you're right. Of course. Mhm. Can you imagine a woman travel alone with no security guard? And I told this buyer that I have met this morning, once you are the guest, you have been looked after because you are a valued customer. We don't deal crooked buyer. We deal with a buyer that have the capacity to pay. Because gold is money you are buying. You are buying money to make money. If you don't have the money, asking C.I.F, to me, you're a beggar. That's what I told him. He was laughing at me. Yeah. As I have to repeat again, I asked him, what are you intend to use? His direct answer, I am buying to make into jewelry. Perfect. 22 carats. Mhm. And if you are going to refine the gold, then it's another price. Because when you refine the gold, we will give you extra gram, but our price, I can give you less 3% because that extra gram is money. And he was really surprised. And you know what he said? I never found a person like you do, Mrs. Ford. You are such well knowledgeable. I said, well, I have to research. And he agreed that the gold will shrink when you buy to refine it into gold volume. Yes, the gold will shrink. But if you're going to buy to make into jewelry, I told him when you refine it, the clean one could be 0.91.7. Yeah, that is clean. So if you are a buyer, do your research. Don't depend on Wilhelmina. Mhm. Do your research because that is your business. If you're a broker, do your research. Do not just float around depending on what I have on my virtual page. My virtual page is worth $1 million if you pay attention. If you don't pay attention to me, you're a joker. Because I put everything because I don't have time to explain. Mhm. So Mr. Buyer and Mr. Seller, whoever you are, be transparent. Be transparent so that you will not be accused. Few days ago, there was a buyer from United States. I think he is a buyer's agent that they want to bring the gold to Dubai, and he come to me, and husband and wife, because they saw me on YouTube, and they were dealing Sierra Leone gold. So I know the shipper, and I listened to this woman that they said, oh, we just want to vouch, can you vouch me about this shipper? I said, yes, I know this shipper. What happened? Oh, we're buying 25 kilos. I said, okay. And we were being asked to pay the gold. I said, yeah, that is normal. And she has a different story. So what I have done, I contacted the shipper. Mhm. I said to the shipper, oh, what happened? There was a couple that complaining about your services. And the shipper said, Madam, the seller who owned the gold, he borrowed money to finance himself because the buyer has no money. They promised that they will bring the gold to Dubai, and when the gold arrived in Dubai, they will pay the seller. I told the shipper that is wrong. The seller bring the gold to Dubai and he doesn't know who is the buyer. Mhm. And the buyer didn't pay. So what happened? The gold is stuck in Turkey. So the shipper explained to me thoroughly. Then our conversation was recorded on WhatsApp, and I forwarded it to the wife, and the husband listened it, and the husband called me, and the husband understood. And they thanked me that I contacted the shipper. I'm not supposed to contact the shipper because you are not my customer at all. So I spend long distance just for the stupidity of the buyer. Excuse my language. I am not an agency. Please don't come if you have a problem. Sort it out. Sort it out. I only help my buyer. I don't help those buyers that been scammed. That is your problem why you were being scammed. You don't have the money. The gold cannot leave the country of origin without commercial invoice, without ASA report, without the ownership, without the gold free of illegal activities, without custom, airway bill, insurance. Without that, I'm telling you, you're gonna be stranded. This is what happened. So please, I'm sharing you because I don't want you to come to me. I am not an agency. I only handle my own seller. I only assist you when you buy the gold from us. Before you come to Wilhelmina, make sure you read the full corporate offer on every video. Then you send me an LOI. I don't want to receive LOI cut and paste. I don't. I want the LOI, the address, the company name of the buyer, and the mode of payment. We don't deal C.I.F. This is F.O.B bank to bank. So when I receive the LOI, then I will call you, Mr. Buyer, whether the signatory is you or not. How many LOI I rejected? Hundreds. If I don't respond to the LOI, meaning to say you didn't qualify. Because I'm very, very strict. Very. There is no point to continue chatting with you guys if you don't pay attention. There is no such seller explaining about the procedure. I was the one who do everything. I done my research why the buyer and the seller have a problem. I mentioned it to my buyer, potential buyer this morning, that my seller lost 23 million, 450 kilos. And also the seller in Bamako, Mali, lost gold in Istanbul. And also the Sierra Leone went to New York. He lost $1 million. So vice versa. Either the seller lost money or the buyer lost money. Either the seller lost his product or the buyer lost his money. Vice versa. Why? You were not being guided. That is the reason why I put everything online. You watch it, you read it, you're a winner. My information is worth $1 million. If you buy to us, that's fine. If you don't buy, at least you learn. Because nobody taught me. Nobody explaining to me like this. I was the one who put everything. I was the one asked my seller, okay, what necessary really to provide a buyer? Very simple. Of course, you have to have a contract. Of course. You stipulate on the contract. The buyer, the refinery address, etc. And we don't send blank contract. We don't. That is called solicitation. I'm the one who will gather you as a buyer, your vital information. I have buyers. He sent his business registration, right? He sent his passport copy. He sent his ID picture, and he got the visa. But it so happened UK is locked down, so their movement, their arrival has been moved. Yeah. So we are on COVID-19. So I told the three buyers from UK, relax. Then when when the lockdown is lifted, that is the time you travel. Yeah. And unfortunately, this buyer that I have going to Sierra Leone, yeah, he showed me the result of testing of COVID-19 is positive. So I advise him don't travel until you gonna retest again. That is the time you travel. Mr. Buyer, whoever you are, this video is for everyone. Before you travel to Africa, you need to have a yellow fever. Do the testing of COVID-19. Bring medicine like flu, fever, headache. In Africa, their medicine is not really very good. Mhm. So bring your own medicine in case you might have a headache, in case you have a sore throat. You buy syrup like Benadryl. I always bring Benadryl when I travel to Africa. I always buy Vicks, mhm, for sore throat or lollies. I always buy medicine for headache, Panadol, aspirin for fever, etc. for my protection, because my seller cannot protect me. If I become sick, my seller would not look after me. I have to look after myself. Exactly the same as you do, Mr. Baya. Mhm. So I think I already explained it to you what necessary you need. I don't need to explain. All question and answer is in front of you. Click below. Watch all the video. Don't rush. Don't come to Wilhelmina until you digest it. Don't come to Wilhelmina to chat with me that I have a buyer. I want you to read if you're a buyer's mandate. Yeah? Take time. When you are ready, you come back. Because the price of gold is getting higher and higher. Yeah? So there's a saying, a golden rules of buying. He who has the gold makes the rules. The government is making the rules, not you. You follow the golden rules of the country, where the gold coming from, where the diamond coming from. You pay for it. Inspect, bring your gold tester, bring your diamond tester. You like it, you pay for it, so that you will get the Kimberly certificate. Does that make sense now, Mr. Baya? I think I already explained it. Thank you very much. And I will leave you because somebody already buzzing me. Most of my buyer coming from YouTube. And then they click on Facebook. They read all available stock that we have. Facebook is more better because I can expand it. I can show that I was in Africa. In YouTube, you only have the video plus the full corporate offer. That's the reason why I always put welcome to Wilhelmina's virtual pins. Click the link. You will learn more. And then when you're ready, you come back. I'm not forcing you to buy. I'm not floating around. I'm telling the world that we are here to do business. But you are floating around comparing to prices, and you want to get instant millionaire. You would not become millionaire if you buy only small item. You will become millionaire when you continue your order. Guaranteed you will get 80% profit in a year. But on the first trial, you only get minimal profit. As I'm saying to my buyer this morning, I can assure you, you will get $6,000 per kilo profit. You know what he said to me? I would be very happy if I get 6,000. How are you going to give it to me, Wilmina? And I told him, when you're ready, I will give it to you because I'm the boss. I have the right to say yes or no. And I have the right to pressure my head office. Thank you very much. Have a pleasant good evening. The time here is 9:52 in the evening. November 17, which is Tuesday.